In the endless dark of space, millions of stars shone like diamonds. Across that ocean of light, one truth echoed through the galaxy. Humanity was the joke of the stars. Aliens called humans the loud ones. They said humans were too emotional, too fragile and too young to matter in the great galactic union. For centuries, alien races had built empires and cities across the stars. Humans were newcomers, small, unpredictable, and always trying to prove something. At the Grand Council Hall, surrounded by hundreds of alien species, Captain Elias Ward of Earth stood tall. He was the only human voice in the meeting, but the laughter around him was loud. One alien general smirked, saying, "Humans are like children with fire. Give them time and they'll burn themselves." Elias didn't answer. He simply looked at the holographic stars floating. Above the council table, he knew what they didn't. Humanity was already building something that would change everything. Back on Earth and Mars, in secret bases deep underground, a project was growing. Something beyond the galaxy's understanding. Something only humans had the courage to dream about. As the laughter filled the hall, Elias touched a small data chip hidden inside his uniform. On it were the blueprints of Project Helios, humanity's greatest secret. He turned his eyes toward the endless stars and whispered quietly to himself, "Let them laugh. Soon they'll see what imagination can do." The council kept laughing, the stars kept shining, but in the silence between them, humanity had already begun to rewrite the galaxy's rules. Far from the laughter of the council, deep beneath the red sands of Mars, something powerful was being born. Inside an underground base hidden from every alien scanner, hundreds of human scientists worked day and night. They called it Project Helios, a dream to create energy strong enough to move stars. Dr. Arya Singh, the lead scientist, stood before a glowing chamber filled with golden light. The energy inside was alive, swirling like a small sun. No alien race had ever made something like it. They said it was impossible, but humans didn't believe in impossible. Captain Elias Ward arrived at the base, walking through halls full of humming machines and glowing screens. He asked softly, "How close are we?" Arya smiled. "Closer than they think. We just need time and courage." Outside, the Martian winds howled against the dome. No one noticed the shadows moving in the dark sky. A group of alien raiders had found the base. They wanted the secret humans were hiding. Suddenly, alarms screamed, explosions rocked the tunnels. Engineers ran for cover as soldiers rushed to defend the entrance. Elias grabbed a pulse rifle and joined the fight. The air filled with fire and smoke. When it was over, the attackers were gone, but so were the outer defense systems. The base had survived. Barely. Dr. Arya looked at Elias with fear and determination. "They know about us now," she said. Elias nodded slowly. "Then it begins." As the dust settled on Mars, humanity's secret was no longer safe. The galaxy had started to notice, and it would never laugh the same way again. News of the Mars attacks spread fast across the stars. Within days, every alien news channel spoke one name, Project Helios. They called it dangerous, reckless, even insane. To them, humans had once again played with forces they could not control. The Galactic Council summoned humanity to answer for their crime. Inside the great silver hall of the council, hundreds of alien eyes turned toward Captain Elias Ward and Dr. Arya Singh. The air was heavy with judgment. The council leader, a tall creature of blue crystal, spoke coldly. "Humans have broken the sacred laws of science. You have built a weapon beyond your right to hold." Elias stood still. "It's not a weapon," he said calmly. "It's hope." The aliens murmured in anger. One of them hissed, "Hope is for fools." "The galaxy runs on order, not dreams," another laughed. "You humans always think you are special. You are just children with stolen toys." Elias looked around the hall. He saw only fear hiding behind their words, fear of what humanity might become. Arya stepped forward. "We created Helios to save lives, not destroy them," she said. But the council had already decided. They voted to shut down the project and ordered every human base to open its doors for inspection. As the meeting ended, an alien general leaned close to Elias and whispered, "You will obey." or Earth will burn. Elias didn't reply, he simply touched. The small device on his wrist, a hidden communicator, linked to Mars. A soft blue light blinked once. Project Helios was already online, and as the Council laughed again, humanity quietly prepared to change the galaxy forever. Weeks passed after the Council's judgment. Alien fleets surrounded human space, watching every move. They thought humanity would surrender. They were wrong. Far beyond Mars, near the edge of the solar system, a strange storm appeared, a violent tear in space itself. Energy waves ripped through nearby planets. Alien ships tried to study it, but their systems failed. Engines died. Shields collapsed. The entire fleet was trapped inside the storm's pull. In the middle of the chaos, a single ship appeared, the USS Vanguard, glowing with golden light. It was powered by Project Helios. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge. Watching the storm twist like a living beast, Dr. Arya Singh monitored the energy readings. Her hands shook. If this goes wrong, we could lose everything. Elias smiled faintly. Then let's make it right. The Vanguard flew straight into the storm. Golden light spread from its engines like wings. The ship released pulses of Helios energy. Bright, pure and endless, the storm began to calm, shrinking under the human-made light. Alien ships regained control, their crews staring in disbelief across the galaxy. Billions watched the transmission live. The same council that mocked humanity now saw their power, not of destruction, but creation. When the Vanguard emerged, the storm was gone. Silence filled the council hall. One alien whispered, "They saved us, with the very thing we feared." Elias looked at the camera and said quietly, "We don't break rules, we rewrite them." For the first time in galactic history, no one laughed at humanity. They watched, and they feared what humans could dream next. The galaxy no longer laughed at humanity, but respect always came with a price. After the storm, the Vanguard floated silently above the glowing remains of the Helios field. Half of the ship's systems were burned out. Inside, smoke filled the corridors and the crew worked without rest. They had saved millions, but the energy of Helios had nearly destroyed them. Dr. Arya Singh sat beside a cracked console, her hands trembling. "We can't hold it much longer," she whispered. Captain Elias Ward stared at the fading power core. The golden light that once shone like a sun was now flickering, dying. Outside, rescue ships from dozens of alien worlds arrived. For the first time in history, alien commanders saluted a human vessel. The same ones who mocked humanity now bowed their heads in silence. Elias opened a channel to the council. "The Helios system works," he said. Voice calm but tired, but it costs lives. Good lives. He turned to look at his crew. Men and women exhausted, faces covered in soot yet proud. "They didn't fight for power," Elias continued. "They fought to prove that hope still matters." Dr. Arya touched the console one last time. The core shut down with a low hum. Her eyes filled with tears. "We did it. But at what cost?" Across the galaxy, every screen showed the moment humanity stood broken yet victorious. The council, once full of laughter, now sat in silence. Elias looked out at the stars and whispered, "If this is the price of respect, we'll pay it." In that quiet moment, the galaxy finally understood. Humanity was no longer the joke of the stars. The storm was gone. The laughter was gone. Only silence remained, the kind that changes history. Weeks later, the Galactic Council met again in the Grand Silver Hall. But this time, it was different. No one mocked. No one whispered. Every alien delegate stood as the humans entered. Captain Elias Ward and Dr. Arya Singh walked side by side. They had become symbols, not of power, but of courage. The council leader rose from his seat, his crystal body shining softly. "Humanity," he said, "you have done what no species has ever done. You saved us all." Elias nodded, his voice calm. "We didn't want to save just ourselves. We wanted to prove that imagination is stronger than fear." The hall was silent. Then, slowly, applause began, soft at first, then louder, echoing through the chamber. For the first time in galactic history, every world saluted Earth. A new charter was written that day. The laws of the galaxy were changed to include one line: "No dream shall be forbidden." Outside the council station, the USS Vanguard prepared for its next mission. Its engines glowed with the light of Helios. Reborn, stable and shining brighter than ever, Dr. Arya smiled. "Where do we go now?" Elias looked at the stars and said quietly, "Where no one else dares to dream." As the Vanguard vanished into the endless sky, its golden trail stretched across the dark.